Okay, welcome to the show. You're watching the Fox Business Network. Look who's back with us. Former Trump Deputy National Security Advisor, KT McFarland, author of the book Revolution, Trump, Washington, and We the People. Okay, KT, what was your reaction when you heard President Biden telling the G7 meeting today that, quote, Democrat progress is under assault in the U.S.?
You know, here's a man who was just elected president of the United States, and he's now saying democracy and the democratic process and elections are under assault in the United States. It really belies the whole point of him being president, right? And the other thing that always bothers me is when, whether it's President Obama or now President Biden, I think when an American president goes overseas, don't trash talk your own country. You know, you can do that at home. You can criticize your political opponents at home. But when we look out at the world, I think we should not trash talk our political opponents. We shouldn't trash talk our country. And we should present a united front and a good face to the world, because otherwise the world will believe that democracy is dysfunctional and that American democracy is under assault. And where does that get us? It gets us no place.
Okay, so the Biden administration is now rolling back President Trump's policies. You know, they're potentially removing sanctions on Iran, rejoining Obama's 2015 nuclear deal. What is President Biden asking in return? U.S. allies in the Mideast oppose that 2015 nuclear deal. Are we seeing preconditions? Is President Biden talking about flaws in the Obama nuclear deal? Any talk of Iran cheating?
No, I mean, this is the whole extraordinary thing, Liz. It was a lousy deal in the first place. It never stopped Iran's nuclear program. It merely put it on pause for about 10 years. It never stopped Iran's nuclear missile development program. And it didn't even touch Iran's support of terrorists throughout the region. So it was a lousy deal to start with, and it's an even lousier deal now because that clock has been ticking. I mean, if President Biden rejoins the Iran nuclear deal, here's what will happen. Within a decade, Iran will have nuclear weapons. It'll have missiles capable of delivering those nuclear weapons, not just to the Middle East, but to Europe and potentially even to the United States. Iran will continue to support and be enriched in supporting its terrorist allies in the region, threatening Israel, threatening the Gulf Arab countries. But Iran will launch a nuclear arms race in the Middle East because as Iran gets those nuclear weapons, other countries in the region will want them. And then the final thing that really is the nail in the coffin is by strangling the American energy industry, which you've just pointed out, ending fracking, ending natural gas in the United States. Not only does that screw up our own economy, it once again makes us dependent on Middle East oil. Once again pulls us into the Middle East and the conflicts and the wars that we'll never be able to win because these are wars that have been fought for 2,000 years.
Yeah. You know, so General Jack Keane would agree with you. He's saying the same Obama team is back, that this is a team that folded, he says, quote, folded with the Iranians 6 years ago. Just this week, Iran fired off missiles at a U.S. military base in Iraq, killing a civilian contractor. But, you know, Obama official Ben Rhodes saying, you know, Iran is right to be angry that the U.S. broke the Iran deal. What's your reaction to that?
Look, they may not like it. The Biden administration may not like how Donald Trump got the leverage, but Donald Trump has gotten the United States enormous leverage over Iran. Economic leverage, oil leverage, military leverage. The whole region is now looking at Iran as a power that needs to be contained and a power that should not be allowed to go back to where it was. The Biden administration should use that leverage to renegotiate a deal that does, in fact, stop Iran's nuclear program, that does, in fact, stop Iran's relationship with al-Qaeda and Iran's support for terrorism. My worry, Liz, is that the Biden administration, in their zeal to kind of get back to the good old days of the Obama team, they're now giving away everything up front in hopes that maybe Iran sort of might continue to be good in the end. You know, when you negotiate with a country like Iran, you negotiate from a position of strength. And when you give up all of your negotiating power, all of your chips, you show all of your cards up front, you're not going to get them to go along with everything. They'll just pocket what they've gotten and say, you know, what are you going to give me next? So, Liz, I think it's a big mistake to have this approach that they're taking, and I think it will only lead to the one thing they promise it'll never happen, which is a nuclear arms race in the Middle East, Liz.
Okay. All right. KT, thanks for your insights there. Come back soon.